Future of Industrial Skill Development. Please welcome Dr. Akshay Dwivedi sir, Professor and Head of Mechanical Engineering and Managing Director of AARTI, the Industry Accelerator of IIT Roorkee. Huge round of applause, sir. May I now request our VC sir, Dr. P.H. Chauhan sir, and also the coordinator of this faculty development program to kindly offer a bouquet and kit to welcome our speaker, sir. I now invite our VC sir to please kindly address us and welcome our guest.
On behalf of entire Vikrant University and Organizing Committee, it is both my pleasure and privilege to welcome Dr. Akshay Dwivedi ji in the Vikrant campus. We are grateful to you, sir, that to spare the time coming from Roorkee to Gwalior to motivate and to address the participants of this FDP Industry 5.0 Human-Centric Smart Manufacturing. I would like to say something about the Akshay Dwivedi. Akshay Dwivedi started his career from this Gwalior itself. I was also motivated by him. I was not in the teaching profession. The group of Akshay Dwivedi, R.K. Shukla, Basant Sikarwar, the 4 and 5 persons who were involved in the teaching in the MPCT College, Maharana Pratap College of Technology. Then at that time all have, I think, BTech qualification. Then after that each and everyone took the admission for the MTech program and then the PhD program. And Akshay Dwivedi sir completed the MTech and PhD. I think from IT Roorkee. Yeah. IT Roorkee and settled there also, and assistant professor, associate professor and the professor. Very hard-working personality, very smart. I can say that smart in the sense, whatever if you will discuss, then answer you will get the answer of each and every segment. If we talk about the smart system, anything can be answered. Intelligent, smart and intelligent. You can see such type of personality in Dr. Akshay Dwivedi. Any question, if you have related with the your industry institute interaction, if you are interested to ask anything related with the academics, if you are interested to ask anything regarding the economic issue of India, you may discuss with Akshay. Without delaying anything, I invite Professor Dr. Akshay Dwivedi to enlighten us by his valuable words. Thank you, sir.
Do I need a mic? Does it not work?
It's working, but if
इतना छोटा सा तो है यार. Am I audible? चलेगा ना? Wonderful. Okay, this will be for recording. क्यों कर रहा हूँ record? If you need a recording, then I will be too professional. That may not really add value. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chancellor Premananji, and a very close friend of mine. We have had some wonderful years where we have worked together on the forums where academic integrity comes into picture, and we had a very good time. And thank you for inviting me for this wonderful place. It has been a real pleasure to visit Gwalior. I was wishing to visit Gwalior since last 1 year, but was unable to find any time. And thanks to the courteous invitation, here I am, giving you a lot of background on artificial intelligence, machine learning, industry 4.0, 5.0. I have seen the scheme which the coordinators have made for this particular program, and I was very happy to find that you already have a lot of information on what industry 5.0 is, what human-centered design is. Let me give you some of my background and how I would like to conduct this particular session. I started my research career in advanced manufacturing, but before that I had actually worked on quality management, and this implies I had worked on developing systems which can deliver quality. One of the primary work which I did was developing tertiary care operation theaters. But when I went to do a PhD, my supervisor said, no, I don't want you to work on this. You enter into advanced manufacturing domain. What I did in my PhD was basically developing a new material and then processing it, because the material which we made became something like unmachinable. You cannot do anything with it. तो भाई ऐसे चीज़ का क्या करोगे जो काम ही नहीं आ सकती, इंडस्ट्री को तो प्रोसेस करना है. So I had to make certain processes to do secondary processing of that particular material. I had worked extensively on metal matrix composites, developed multiple processes for those kind of things, and over a period of time I have developed close to now 30 different machining processes. In early days of my career, I did not enter into the domain of IP, but very soon when I realized that this is a very important domain, fortunately I have now 14 patents. 9 of them are granted. 8 of them have been transferred to transferred to industry for technology deployment. So basically they are coming up as a product. From last few years I have been involved in product development, and this implies I design and develop products for multiple industries. Some of the notable products that I have developed are in assistive devices, where we have developed certain modules which can be used for a powered wheelchair. We have developed a full-fledged mechanical ventilator. I say mechanical, but it is basically a combination of electronics and mechanical engineering, where AI comes into forefront, where that particular ventilator automatically takes a decision that, okay, how I have to work considering the patient's requirements. So it senses, it gives a feedback. That particular ventilator also has cloud computing in it, because there is a single dashboard, and we design that particular thing basically considering COVID in picture. So let's say if even in a field, if we engage these kind of ventilators, and if there is only one doctor, how to do that particular dashboard monitoring. Over a period of time, I have developed again certain manufacturing processes where sensors are integrated. We capture all that particular data, analyze that particular data, develop algorithms so that that particular data can give an input to machine for an online process monitoring and taking sort of a corrective decision whatever is needed. This is something on terms of, let's say, research. There are a few more things. I am right now involved in development of electric vehicles. 2 of my products are out in market. One is a specially designed EV for Divyangjan. Another one is where we have developed a special chassis which can be used for making different types of EV two-wheelers. While doing this, I am also involved in development of axial flux motors. So it is slightly different from the radial motors which we normally use. The size is close to half and the weight is also half. And the best part is the modules, it is designed in a modular way. So in case if there is a particular part which becomes bad, it is easy. Just take it out, replace it with a new one. You don't have to do any rewinding. It's easy. At present, we are focusing on developing those particular technologies which are not available in India. Giving you some more background, and why I am giving it, I will also tell that. We entered into a particular zone which is, we identified that in Indian scenario, industry is really not able to take a major role in emerging technologies. So of course academically everybody knows about industry 4.0. You have also been told about industry 5.0. I don't know about it, and there is no problem when I say it. My understanding is when you bring in concepts of sustainability, you bring in concept of human interaction, that basically gives an add-on to industry 4.0. But that sustainability is something which even me and Premanandji learned during our BTech days. Whenever we read about engineering materials, we understood that is there has to be an environmental impact, we have to lower it down. So that sustainability automatically starts from that same zone. Maybe with the coming zone where we have a lot of impact in terms of climate change, this sustainability angle is coming up big. How many of you are from industry? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, मैं 2-4 सवाल पूछ सकता हूँ if you don't mind. Sir, आपकी इंडस्ट्री का फोकस है सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी पे? सर पहले उनसे पूछूंगा. कैसे है सर? Is it okay if I use Hindi? Will that be fine? Okay, I will, just to make it interactive. कैसे है सर? And don't give me a politically correct answer, sir. Let us talk fact. कैसे है? Whenever there is a process which is completed, do you have some sort of audit on sustainability aspects? Whether there is a quantifiable number which gives you an index that okay, the earlier design that we had a sustainability index in this term, the current design which is supposed to be an improved one has this number. Do we have those kind of checks and balances? शायद नहीं है. सर बताइए सर, क्या फोकस है?
हमारे यहाँ पर जो यान ऐसा हमारे यहाँ पर जो टायर का कॉर्ड फैब्रिक होता है वो प्रोड्यूस होता है. तो उसके लिए फर्स्ट प्रोसेस में इंटीग्रेटेड यान बनाते हैं. वो यान में पेपर ट्यूब जो रहता है उसके ऊपर वाइंडिंग होती है. वो पेपर ट्यूब हमारा ना वन टाइम में जैसे कंज्यूम हुआ यान, फिर उसके बाद वापस से आता है, उसको यूज़ करते हैं अंटिल जब तक हम उसको कर सकते हैं. तो अराउंड 7 और 8 साइकिल्स तक हम उसको रीयूज करते हैं.
So sir, is it due to sustainability requirements or it is about basically improving the overall cost of input? And we want to reduce the cost of input so that there can be effective use, maybe to earn more profit, because lesser input is there, so this implies productivity is going to be increased.
That is the major factor.
This is something which I would like to stress, sir, whenever we talk about industry. I teach a subject which is Principles of Industrial Engineering, and the first class that I usually take is, I tell my students, boss, I am going to teach to you that how to make profit. So if you become an entrepreneur, how to make it. If you are working in an organization, how to enable organization to make that profit. That money part is very important, and that is basically the spirit of any industry. No industry is there just to do social work, sorry. Yeah, when they mature enough, they do some work in it. They also have some CSR, they engage some of the profits in that particular part, and they want to do something good for society. But sustainability is maybe primarily not in picture. It should be. Whenever we look in and around our environment, I visited Gwalior after an year, and many roads I did not identify. And one of the biggest reasons is not roads, but basically the infrastructure that is built on those particular roads, new houses, new buildings. So that is creating an environmental impact. We do not have those many trees. What happens to that particular water which comes down during rainy days? That water is not going down. Whatever we are extracting, we are not giving it back. Why I ask this particular question is because I do interact with a lot of, let's say, administrators, policy makers, both at state as well as center level. State means not only state of Uttarakhand, state of MP, smart city mission, as I am basically comparing what has happened. I should say I'm doing sort of an audit of that. Even in those particular interactions, I've got this understanding, which may be my personal understanding. बस सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी, सस्टेनेबिलिटी अच्छा लगता है बोलने में, धंधा वैसे थोड़ी चलता है, ठीक. And why this particular thing comes? You see, when we talk about industry, there is something which is called as large industry. I am sure, sir, SRF is a large industry. It will basically depending upon the revenue that you are earning. So industries like, let's say, some large Tatas, all those units, Mahindra, Maruti, these are large players, L&T. But then there is a segment which comes under MSME, which is of course one of the biggest employment generator in India, and that can really lead to a major change in terms of how economics can be improved, keeping sustainability and circular economy, where automation in terms of industry 4.0 can also come up. So basically we can reach to that particular industry 5.0. My understanding, even after considering so many things where I worked on lot many projects, lot many things, industry 4.0 is still a distant dream. There may be some players which are doing exceedingly well, but what about the larger picture? So from last few years, what we have done is we have focused our efforts in providing latest and emerging technology information to MSMEs. I started a movement at IIT Roorkee which was named as Tech Sarthi, where we promote interactions between faculties who are available at IIT Roorkee. By the way, we have a very strong faculty pool, 660 very good, excellent people are there who work in diverse domains. We have 23 departments, 19 specialized centers. So it is a very big ecosystem. So we basically provide opportunities where our faculty members along with students, they interact with industry free of cost. This implies industry don't have to pay anything. And we are talking about MSMEs, basically those MSMEs which are not very large, I should say small, 100 crore turnover more or less in a year, which is a good amount, but it is not a big amount. And those particular industries basically have an issue, they cannot think in long term. Whatever is the requirement from market, I plan according to it, I produce it, I sell it in market. ये बहुत धंधा चल रहा है. And many of those particular players are also family businesses, 2 generations, 3 generations. They did not have any information about standards what are to be followed. So if a company has to actually improve and also integrate emerging technologies which are needed for Industry 4.0, what are the requirements? One is quality. Human-centric design is fine, sustainability is fine, circularity is fine, but most important requirement is boss quality कैसी है? We identified that there are 2 different requirements for quality. अगर कहीं पे याद रह जाए तो याद कर लीजिएगा सर, लिख सकें तो लिख लीजिएगा, because I am not using a PowerPoint and I speak a lot where a lot of experience comes in. Maybe some take-home information if you have. I would be more than satisfied that okay, we really spent some good time. So there are 2 important requirements for quality. One is specialization, and second one is standardization. When we say what is standardization, of course, having consistency in processes is something which is very important, which basically results in standardization. Consistency in processes, ये क्या होता है सर? ISO का नाम सुना है? सब लोगों ने सुना होगा, बड़े बड़े एडवर्टाइजमेंट में देखा होगा, फलाना कंपनी ISO फलाना नंबर सर्टिफाइड. To give you a very simple understanding about ISO is, sir, ISO is write what you do, so irrespective of technology domain, product है कि environment की बात कर रहा हूँ, thing is whatever that you want to do, boss, please write it. So this implies you have made an effective plan. Do what you write is, you follow those particular steps as it is. If you follow those steps as it is, this implies there will be a better chance of consistency. There will be lesser deviations. So basically you will be able to reach to the target. And since there is always an area of improvement, you go to that particular thing, which is do a periodic review. Simple. ज़्यादा झंझट ही नहीं है. These 3 steps, if you take as an input in all the domains in which industry works, you will be achieving that particular requirement of standardization. But एक चीज और आ जाती है. When we use word standard, standard is something which should be acceptable to all. Agreed, sir? So I can be very good in improving my processes. I can be very good in improving the industry in which I am working, their processes. What about others? Will they respect my processes? For that we have standards, BIS. नाम सुना हुआ है सर, Bureau of Indian Standards. Fortunately, from last few years, BIS has really worked a lot for developing standards for all major industries. In fact, they have also started working for the emerging technology domain like EV and those things. Issue is to understand a standard by an industry where you have an existing workforce. It becomes difficult for them to really go through each and every new thing. एक तो टाइम नहीं होता. दूसरा क्या 8 घंटा 9 घंटा का शिफ्ट है. I am bound to work in a particular way. I have to fulfill my requirements. Maybe there are some production targets. Workforce is reporting to me. I have to take care of so many things. The raw material is not available. I have to take care of inventory. There are so many things which comes into picture. When do I find to learn about these particular standards? And can somebody explain these particular standards to us? So one thing which we did is, sir, why I am telling all of these things to you is, since you will be at a particular place as an industry player or maybe an academician, please try to find out what particular domain you can take. That is my key idea. So if you understand those particular standards, you will be able to explain those standards to industry in a better way. So what we did is, we motivated our colleagues that, okay, you are going to this particular industry, you do an audit of their entire process, you try to find out whether they are following the standards. If yes, what are those particular relevant standards? If right, great. If not, can you please explain to them that, boss, this is the standard which is needed, and to fulfill this particular standard, this is the material that they will be needing. So when finally production is completed, they can very efficiently say that, yes, this particular product is having compliance of these many standards. Okay, sir. So standardization on consistency part, other, what is going to be the outlook from the outside. So those standards. What is going to happen if you do this? You see, if there are few cases where these particular standards were maybe not present or maybe present but interpreted in wrong way, now if they are corrected, these MSMEs will be able to export their products. ठीक है सर? क्यों? Standards are followed. Each and every BIS standard is either following an IS standard or they are inspired by that particular IS standard. Inspired implies that maybe there is a very good understanding of that particular standard, and there is a minor change with respect to local requirements. Once this particular thing happens, the next requirement comes, which is in terms of specialization. Sir, have you been to some particular time in your entire life, maybe when you were a student or you are acting as a professional, you have written something, and maybe a superior, maybe a teacher who has said to you, क्या लिखा है यार ये? Or maybe if you written something and you took it to your parents, fine, बेटा थोड़ा और अच्छा लिख सकते थे. Have you been to those scenarios? The issue is, we all do work in the finest possible way as per our understanding. We do not want to do a bad work. Okay? अगर हम कोई भी काम करते हैं तो हमारा एक ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी है कि बॉस मैं जब काम करूँ ना तो हर कोई मेरी तारीफ करे. And we seek that particular thing कि बॉस somebody appreciates me. बच्चे थे तब भी वो किया, प्रोफेशन में आए तब भी वो किया. इंडस्ट्री भी उसी मोड में काम करती है. ठीक, कुछ ज़्यादा अलग नहीं है, इंसानों से ही बनती है ना, हम लोग ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक बात कर रहे हैं. सो बेसिकली फ्रॉम दैट सेम लेवल थिंग्स स्टार्ट. द इशू इज, when you are working in a particular way and there is a third person who is auditing, and auditing not in a way to evaluate you, auditing in a way to suggest to you that, okay, this is something which you can improve. Sometimes it helps. आज सुबह जब मैं गाड़ी से आया तो एक मैडम थी जो यहाँ का HR देखती थी. उनका नाम भी बड़ा खूबसूरत है, सेवी. मुझे नाम नहीं पता था, मैं सीमा बोलता था बहुत देर में. HR में एक बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ होती है विच इज़ परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल. ठीक, साल में एक बार सब लोगों ने भरा होगा, मैंने भी भरा है. आपको पता है क्यों भरवाते हैं वो परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल? क्या रीज़न है, क्यों करवाते हैं? उसे पूछते हैं साल में तुमने क्या क्या एक्टिविटी करी, ये किया, क्या क्या टारगेट्स थे, ये टारगेट्स थे. भाई तुम लिखो तुम्हारे टारगेट क्या थे, तुम बताओ तुमने टारगेट फुलफिल करने के लिए क्या किया, कोई अदर देन दिस टारगेट्स भी तुमने कुछ किया है क्या? क्यों लिखवाते हैं वो? क्या रीज़न होता है? भरा है परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल सब लोगों ने, क्यों भरवाते हैं मैडम? क्या कारण होगा बताओ? Okay.
your complete work which you want to represent.
So what happens once you fill that appraisal?
Sometimes it will accept it, sometimes questions will mark on you,
Then what happens?
then you correct.
All right. You see, when you write that particular performance appraisal, and let's say if you have taken few hours in completing it, I am not saying that okay 2 minute में कुछ किया और खत्म कर दिया, or use ChatGPT to you fulfill the questionnaire. वो नहीं करना है अभी. But let's say you made an honest effort in writing something just to fulfill all the requirements of the question that are usually there in a performance appraisal. At end of that particular part, you realize कि बॉस ये 2-3 चीज़ें ऐसी थी जहाँ पे ना मुझे ढंग का जवाब नहीं मिला. एग्जाम में हम जब लिख लेते हैं ना किसी क्वेश्चन पेपर के लिए, तो उसके बाद कोई बताता था टीचर कि बेटा एक बार दोबारा पढ़ लेना कि क्या तुमने लिखा है. So that second review basically helps you identifying कि बॉस where are the areas of improvement. That particular performance appraisal gives you an opportunity where you analyze how you have performed, and this also implies that you now know yourself where are the areas of improvement. Right performance appraisals worked in right spirit by good organizations, they usually give opportunity to their people to self-improve. Question तब लगता है जब सामने वाले ने खुद एनालाइज किया ही नहीं है, कुछ भी लिख दिया. Otherwise, fine. So, when we talk about specialization, we ensure that whenever there is a process which is being audited, is done in a way where current processes in comparison with international standards or the future emerging market in that particular domain, having a background of geopolitical situations, will be able to generate information to this particular industry. Boss, this is a potential opportunity. तुम आज टायर बना रहे हो, ईवी मार्केट बड़ा होने वाला है, अपने टायर की रबर को थोड़ा सा कस्टमाइज कर लो. कैसे करोगे, ये वाली कहानी है. क्या नॉर्मल टायर ईवी में यूज कर सकते हैं? नहीं कर सकते यार, हेवी होती है. ठीक, 1500 सीसी की गाड़ी 1.5 टन की होती है नॉर्मल आईसी इंजन में, वहीं पे वो ईवी वाले जोन में आ गया विद सेम काइंड ऑफ अ पावर आउटपुट, इट वुड बी हैविंग मे बी 2.5 टन ऑफ वेट. तो वो 1 टन का वेट बड़ा है, छोटा मोटा नहीं है. तो भाई टायर बदलोगे ना, वही तो सबसे बड़ा इनपुट है. सो देयर इज अ न्यू अपॉर्चुनिटी. If there is a particular industry which is working in, let's say, healthcare domain, and let's say they are making some surgical instruments, so what is going on in recent scenario where medical science research is developing, if that information is provided to the industry, they know कि बस ये एक नया market है. So that is going to give you specialization part. हो सकता है सर ऐसा. Why I am telling about these things? Those faculty colleagues who are here, please see, can you do something like this? You cannot change all the industries, and maybe all industries are not your expertise. Okay? But when you go there and you see things in a third person perspective and in an appreciative manner, things can really change. Fine, sir? Our efforts in dealing with this particular scenario has led to development of 17 new products in last 2.5 years. I'm talking about 17 new products. This implies 17 new businesses. Of course, catering to requirements which are there. Incorporating all those particular standards which are important for that particular industry, which implies one particular MSME which is running like a household family business, now has a technical intervention in it. Now they can definitely prove to the outside world that okay, this is something in my product, the efficacy is already ensured, and I am also giving you an assurance with it. Assurance coming by standards. ठीक है सर, चलिए. Any questions till now? तो मैं एक घूंट पानी पी लेता हूँ. Those people who belong to my age, they may recall that when computers came into existence in India especially, Rajiv Gandhi started this particular entire movement, and there were many naysayers around that time who said कि बॉस कंप्यूटर आ जाएगा तो नौकरी खा जाएगा. याद है सब? नए लोगों को शायद नहीं पता होगा, पुरानों को याद होगा. खा ली उसने सबकी नौकरी. सब लोग कंप्यूटर यूज करते हैं ना, तो नौकरी आपकी खतरे में है क्या कंप्यूटर से? नहीं है. It added more perspectives. The issue is the current zone where AI is coming up big, and mind it, when I say it is coming up big, I have a lot of information on what is going on. A lot of information which is maybe far beyond access to somebody who is in, let's say, open domain. So it is going to really change everything. Really change. Should I be afraid of it? Answer is yes. But can I use this as an opportunity? Answer is yes. ठीक है. क्रिकेट के मैदान में कभी फील्डिंग करी आप लोगों ने? तो कभी कैच आया तो कैसे पकड़ते हैं जी? बताओ जरा हाथ ऊपर करके, कैसे पकड़ते हैं? सामने आ रहा है, लूंगा, थोड़े से हाथ पीछे कर लूंगा. क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? उस एनर्जी को एब्जॉर्ब कर रहा हूँ. कभी बैटिंग भी करी होगी, सामने वाला जो बॉलर है वो 140 किलोमीटर पर आवर पे बॉलिंग कर रहा है, तो मैं क्या करूँ? हर जगह जाके बल्ला अड़ा दूँ अपना? Can I use that particular speed for my advantage just to give it a direction? If we follow these two approaches, which is coming from sports, in a professional life where AI seems to be like a threat right now, or maybe in certain cases it has basically curbed our creativity. ठीक है, there are close to 100 odd people who work with me for different projects, और आजकल मैं उनसे कहता हूँ ना कि जरा यार ये कुछ लिख के दे देना. जो लैंग्वेज लिख के आती है 5 सेकंड बाद में कहता हूँ यार खुद कुछ तो लिख लिया करो. वो ग्रोक तुमने सीख लिया, चैट जीपीटी तुमने सीख लिया, डीप सेक तुमने सीख लिया, वो लिख देता है सारी चीजें. तुम्हारी क्रिएटिविटी का क्या होगा यार? दिस इज द फैक्ट. कैन वी डू समथिंग सो दैट वी यूज दैट फॉर आवर एडवांटेज एंड स्टिल मूव ऑन? ग्रेट. So how to develop something where AI can really be used for our advantage? Let me take a case study of about, let's say, an MSME, which is right now employing, let's say, 500 people. 470 of them are involved in production jobs. 15 to maybe 18 people are at middle level of management. The remaining ones, which are very few in number, are, let's say, in senior roles, maybe also including owner. Fine. The criteria is clear. One MSME, 500 people, 470 production jobs. When I was in a company named Thermex, have you heard about the name? Thermex का नाम सुना है? क्या करती है भैया? हाँ सर, Boiler is their bread and butter. Thermex Global is the company which I am referring to, and I am giving you very personal experience. One fine day, I was at a very senior position in Thermex. I was principal scientist, and I was looking after their R&D in manufacturing, and there were very big projects which company had certain expectations from me, which I will be delivering some extraordinary results. One fine day, I decided that boss, this is enough. I want to go to teaching. I want to go for academics. I gave my letter for the notice period. I was reporting to MD. He called me. बोले अक्षय क्या हो गया? मैंने कहा boss, I want to use my most creative years for creating something that really matters. तो बोले इस company is not providing you that opportunity. मैंने कहा हो रहा है ना, मैं एक प्रोडक्ट बनाऊंगा, 2 बनाऊंगा, बिजनेस से फोकस्ड है. ठीक है, वो बात नहीं आएगी. मैं तो रोज नए प्रोडक्ट बना सकता हूँ, रोज नई टेक्नोलॉजी. बहुत डिस्कशन हुआ, बट फाइनली सेड ओके, व्हाटएवर से एग्री, यू कंप्लीट योर नोटिस पीरियड, यू आर फ्री टू गो. मैं उसके ऑफिस से बाहर निकला, अपने ऑफिस आया. एक बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति हैं जो डिप्लोमा होल्डर थे और मुझसे बोर्ड की मीटिंग्स में लिटरली झगड़ते थे। कई बार होता है ना, आपके भी साथी होंगे, काउंटर करते हैं आपको हर चीज़ पे, आपने जो बोला उसके ऊपर उसका एक डिफरेंट ओपिनियन है, और वेरी लाउड माउथ। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात, ही नॉक्ड माई डोर, he was, can I come in? Fine, have a seat. मैंने सुना है तुमने रिजाइन कर दिया है। He was a Goan. He had a very huge problem in speaking Hindi, and since I worked in Pune, that there is a language incompatibility, I will say, because people speak Konkani or people speak Maharashtrian. They are well versed in that. Hindi is of course not very aggressive in Pune. There are a lot of people. There are no issues as such, but yes, speaking or dialect is slightly different. मैंने सुना है तुमने रिजाइन कर दिया है। मैंने कहा हाँ जी कर दिया है, आई एम ऑन माई नोटिस पीरियड। तुम वापस ले लो रिजिग्नेशन। मैं क्यों ले लो भाई, मैंने कर दिया, टेकन अ डिसीजन। आई ऑलरेडी हैड अ टॉक विद वाइस प्रेसिडेंट एज वेल एज एमडी एंड दे हैव आल्सो एग्रीड। बोला तुमको पता नहीं है ये कंपनी माँ है। माँ तो ठीक है, it is giving me salary, but what do you mean by ma? So look, this particular gentleman had an issue where he was diagnosed with cancer and the treatment went to around 6 years. So he told me, boss, I had this particular issue, I was hospitalized for so long, there was enormous expenditure that happened, company took care of everything. The owners of this particular company even ensured that my kids, they get all access to whatever education resource they want, and maybe they did something which even I would have not be able to do. ये माँ है, माँ को कैसे छोड़ सकता है कोई? Are you able to understand the kind of belongingness this gentleman had, talking to someone with whom maybe there is a professional rivalry? I came from an academic background with a PhD, all those particular bright things. Somebody who has risen from earth, being a diploma holder, coming to a particular level after gaining a lot of experience, and then saying this particular thing. Can you understand? I recall this particular interaction till now, and now it is time for me to tell you something which is very important. The industry which has 500 people, 470 employed in production job, if you go for automation, you are basically going to eat their jobs. People do not earn money from an industry. People earn people. आपने कंपनी का नाम सुना है VIP? आपने एक और कंपनी का नाम सुना होगा, सफारी। VIP से निकली है, घर से निकली है, आज VIP पे भारी है। क्यों? क्योंकि कोविड के दौरान सफारी ने जो सबसे बड़ा काम किया वो ये कहा कि आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल माई एम्प्लॉइज। सफारी ने उस समय ये इंश्योर किया कि वॉट एवर ऑर्डर दैट आई हैव प्लेस्ड आई विल फुलफिल देम, नो मनी विल बी होल्ड, देयर विल बी नो नेगोशिएशन। भाई जिस प्राइस पे तुमको हमने दिया था हम उतने ही प्राइस पे तुमसे ले रहे हैं, इन्वेंट्री बिल्डअप होगी मैं करूँगा। ठीक? After COVID, when tourism expanded and when there was a large requirement of luggage carriers, किसी कंपनी का बोता ही नहीं था, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने सप्लाई चेन नेटवर्क डिस्टर्ब कर लिए थे। पैसे नहीं दिए तो अब सप्लायर देगा नहीं, आदमी का बहुत ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं रखा तो आदमी भी तुम्हारे संग नहीं खड़ा, अकेला सफारी बैठा हुआ था, जो कहते ले आओ बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट रिसोर्सेज। वाई? बिकॉज आई हैव अर्न्ड पीपल एंड I am able to fulfill the market requirements. मुझे फिगर याद नहीं है, बस शायद 600 करोड़ से वो 2000 करोड़ पे पहुंच गया था in very short span of time, just after COVID. So when automation comes into picture, when you change machines, and in those particular machines you integrate sensors where they have a capability of taking a call on their own, maybe the production process will not be having a need of so many people. इस कंसेप्ट में कुछ शब्द आते हैं, अपस्किलिंग, रीस्किलिंग, न्यू स्किलिंग। कहीं पर नोट कर लीजिए अगर याद रह जाए तो। एंड माई एक्सपेक्टेशन इज नॉट टू गिव यू टू मच ऑफ टेक्निकल इंफॉर्मेशन, बट हाउ टू यूज द टेक्निकल इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर बेटर आउटकम्स। So if there are 470 people, can this particular industry do something so that they can be upskilled? How to use the new technology? कितने लोगों को चैट जीपीटी बहुत अच्छे से यूज करना आता है, बहुत अच्छे से। अगर कोई सिखा दे, 2-4 घंटे बैठ जाए तो सीख सकते हैं ना। क्या हुआ, किस लिए यूज कर रहे हो? यूज इसलिए कर रहे हो अपने एग्जिस्टिंग काम के लिए, ठीक। सो इफ अ मशीन नाउ बिकम्स ऑटोमेटेड वेयर द सेंसर्स एंड द हाइब्रिड डिसीजन मेकिंग सिस्टम्स, एल्गोरिथम्स, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग, IoT, एवरीथिंग इज देयर, इफ आई ट्रेन यू, यू आर अपस्किल्ड। तो आपको नौकरी से नहीं निकालना पड़ेगा ना। वो 470 लोग मैंने कमाए थे ना, हो सकता। नेक्स्ट कम्स रीस्किलिंग। कुछ बहुत बुजुर्ग लोग हैं, ठीक है, मे बी दे हैव एन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ 35 years, 40 these particular new technologies. Can I give you a new skill that, okay boss, with this emerging technology there is a new segment which is coming up, you now have to completely reorient, but I can provide you that opportunity. And the third thing comes reskilling. I have a fresh batch which is slightly conversant with what is going on right now. I am just giving them some sort of a skill enhancement. If that happens, I may not need to fire all of those particular 470 people, and I win their trust. Small businesses, especially MSME, they work in a family mode. मालिक, ओनर जो भी है, 2-4 लोग हैं, कुछ ग्रुप है, but basically it is like a family. How to do it? This is something as a take-home information for you. Government of India has identified multiple ways to deal with this kind of a thing. They have made skill sector councils. Okay, for example, hydrogen is coming up big. They also envisage that they will be using hydrogen in automobiles for transport. This implies hydrogen has to be compressed and then it has to be placed in a particular way so that instead of a fuel tank, you now have a hydrogen tank and they can use it. It is a distant dream, but yes, people are working on it and I am sure it is achievable. But hydrogen, can it be used as a fuel in industry? You do not need to transport. The prices can be lowered down. So this implies it is a good segment. All right. चलिए, what is your perception about availability of fossil fuels in near future? मिलेगा आराम से, मिलेगा आराम से, मुझे लगता है मिलेगा. Sorry for contradicting you. Do you know why? See, market works in supply and demand mode. So when there was enormous demand, everybody wanted it. तो हमने ना शॉर्ट कर दिया सप्लाई, तो क्या हुआ, प्राइस बढ़ी, हमको प्रॉफिट कमाने का मौका मिला. ओपेक कंट्रीज एंजॉयड इट. चाइना took a call, boss, I have access to critical minerals. This implies I can basically make magnets. This implies I can make motors. Since I also have access to these critical minerals which are needed for batteries, I can make batteries. Let me change my entire automobile sector from IC engine to EV. They changed it completely. 60 to 75% of automobile which are on China roads right now are basically EV. ठीक, तो उनके पास कुछ रिसोर्स था. They identified geopolitically what is happening. They entered into that particular zone. India decided, yes, we will also promote EV. ठीक, गडकरी जी ने आज से कुछ साल पहले घोषणा की थी कि 2030 तक हम ये पूरा खत्म कर देंगे, सब कुछ ईवी पे आ जाएगा, इतने परसेंटेज ईवी रहेगा, देयर विल बी ए मेजर पेनिट्रेशन. Till 2024 December, even I felt कि बॉस बड़ी बात कह दी, हो नहीं पा रहा. But March 2025, with coming up of, let's say, products from companies like Mahindra, BE6 and XEV9E, announcement of Tata Harrier EV, and having an assurance from company like Mahindra that the battery which I will be having in, let's say, my car which I will be buying will be having a lifetime warranty. बस 15 साल के लिए तुम मेरा बैटरी का पूरा झंझट झेल रहे हो, कुछ भी खराब होगा तो मुझे बदल के दोगे, तो इससे ज़्यादा क्या है. The next question that comes in adoption of EV is, boss, do you have availability of charging stations? तो हर कंपनी ने क्या किया, अपनी गाड़ी के संग में एक चार्जर देना शुरू कर दिया, घर पे चार्ज कर लो। 3.5 किलोवाट का पावर लोड है, एसी वीसी लगा हुआ है घर में, हाँ तो मेरा चार्जर भी तुम्हारे लिए चल जाएगा। गवर्नमेंट टुक अ कॉल फॉर ऑल पेट्रोल स्टेशंस अपकमिंग, दे विल बी हैविंग एन ईवी चार्जिंग स्टेशन, रूल बन गया, ठीक, टाइप 2 चार्जर अवेलेबल। फाइन। क्यों बता रहे हो ये पूरी कहानी? ये इसलिए बता रहे हो, अ न्यू बिजनेस इज कमिंग अप. If you have an opportunity of entering into some space in EV, you can take a space of battery manufacturing, you can take a space of making covers for those particular batteries, you can identify an opportunity for battery management system, you can find opportunity to develop full-fledged EVs. बॉस वो भी नहीं करना तो चार्जिंग स्टेशन में घुस जाओ। तो क्या मेरे 470 लोग जो अभी मेरे पास हैं, उनमें से मैं ऐसे लोग 10-15 छांट सकता हूँ जिनको मैं वो नया स्किल दे दूँ, ठीक। कुछ लोग हो सकता है ऐसे बच गए जिनके पास अब कुछ भी नहीं है, नया सीख ही नहीं सकते, भाई तो मेंटेनेंस सीख लोगे ईवी की। सो आई एम एंटरिंग इनटू दैट पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस विच विल नाउ बी डूइंग मेंटेनेंस वर्क फॉर ईवी। सड़क पे आप जा रहे थे, ईवी खराब हो गई, क्या करोगे? सर आरए से है ना यार, 6-7 हज़ार रुपये लेता है, पहले साल के बाद कोई रिन्यू नहीं कराता, अब क्या करोगे? कौन ठीक करेगा? सो कैन आई हैव अ पर्टिकुलर कंपनी वेयर maybe those people who are with me and can enter into that particular zone. I am talking about capacity building and I am talking about giving them an opportunity. Fine. So hydrogen is coming up big, potential business. EV is coming up big, potential business. चाइना भाई साहब ने खेल कर दिया। अभी 1 आध महीने पहले उन्होंने कहा कि मैग्नेट्स का एक्सपोर्ट बंद, पता है? इधर उन्होंने घोषणा करी, मेरे पास शाम को कॉल आता है एक बहुत बड़ी मिनिस्ट्री से, प्रोफेसर साहब वो जो ईवी वाला काम आप कर रहे हैं उसमें बैटरी कहाँ से लाएंगे? मैंने कहा आई नो हाउ टू हैंडल इट, आई विल नॉट टेल यू बट डोंट वरी, वी विल मैनेज इट, वी नो हाउ टू डू इट, वी हैव मेड सर्टन डेवलपमेंट्स, वी विल बी यूजिंग, ठीक। EV is nothing but, let's say, a big computer which has a motor associated with it and a battery associated with it. There is a lot of information which is going on from one place to another. All of that particular information is going to company by some particular way. Usually all those EVs which are right now available, I am talking about slightly premier segment, they have a communication interface, and that particular communication interface in one way directly goes to company's cloud, in other way that particular information is stored, and when you take this particular EV to a service station, they attach a device to it to extract that entire data. So basically data is coming up. All right, मेरी स्लाइड पे आइए। ना मुझे पॉइंटर नहीं चाहिए, मेरी स्लाइड पे फोकस करिए। व्हाट डू यू सी? आराम से बैठो। व्हाट डू यू सी? It's a smart compound machining system which is patented. Let me go there. So what you see here is there is a manipulator which basically gives you access of changing axes. It can be X, Y, Z, it can be rotational axis. Alright, and since this is a machining system, basically there will be some interaction between a tool and work. Am I audible or should I go back again? नो भाई तुम आराम से बैठो, आराम से बैठो, हमको परेशान होने दो। I will stay here. The manipulator needs some kind of a control mechanism to control what happens on X, Y and Z axis. If there are rotational axis, what happens to that? If I need to add some additional axis along with the 3, maybe if it's a 5 axis machine, I need to control them. Usually for such particular cases, there is a computer numerical control which you have heard about. Yes, so basically you design a program, you give that particular input to the machine and machine does the work. For machining where tool comes in direct contact with work material, there will be certain force which will be transferred. That particular force will be providing a shearing kind of an activity which removes material from the work. This is conventional machining. The issue is when I use the word smart compound machining system, here this is a system which has a scenario where tool is not in direct contact with work material, and when it is in direct contact, force कहाँ से transfer हो रहा है? So basically this particular machine uses mechanical energy, which is direct contact, electrical energy, which releases in thermal energy. Alright, so whenever there will be a short, not short, but maybe when two electrodes are coming quite close to each other, there will be flow of electrons. Wherever those particular electrons will be creating a situation where there is sort of a bridging, it will be creating a plasma channel, and then temperature will automatically be coming up, something around 8,000 to 12,000 degrees centigrade. Sometimes it is 20,000 degrees. Sorry, I will not be going into too much of technical things, just giving you an understanding what I am talking about. This machine also use chemical energy. Faraday law of electrolysis आपने सुना है? In Faraday law of electrolysis, the idea that you have is about electroplating. So if you just do a reverse of it, it becomes anodic dissolution. So if you make a work material which is anode, you can use chemical energy for removal of material from the anode part, which is your work. I want to have a system where mechanical, electrical, chemical, all those energies can be used simultaneously at same time. Boss, क्या कर रहे हो? Can you understand the complexity which is coming up in control? So can I do it by using those common CNC kind of a systems which can just act for the manipulator part? Tool का rotation speed क्या होगा? Tool को किस movement में इधर से उधर जाना है? Controlling the axis? No. It needs real-time understanding. And mind it, when I talk about using electrical energy, I am talking about frequencies in terms of, let's say, 5,000 hertz. 5,000 hertz को सब सेकेंड में कैसे इंटरप्रेट करेंगे? क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? किसी ने कहा था फ्रीक्वेंसी इज 5,000 हर्ट्ज, क्या मतलब है? सेकंड में क्या हो रहा है? एक सेकंड में
5,000 साइकिल्स पर सेकंड।
कुछ ज़्यादा तेज नहीं हो गया? ज़्यादा तेज हो गया ना? सो इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी विच हमारे घर में जो है दैट इज 50 हर्ट्ज, द इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर दैट वी गेट. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फ्रीक्वेंसी विच इज 5,000 हर्ट्ज. ऑलराइट, it is very fast, and if there are, let's say, 5,000 cycles, boss, मुझे ना साइकिल नंबर 150 पे कुछ प्रोसेस में चेंज करना है, साइकिल नंबर 400 पे कुछ चेंज करना है. Can my system actually do it? So what is needed is, you need a very strong sensor system which senses at a very high frequency. You need to have algorithms, and those algorithms will be needing a lot of data analytics. That particular data may also need certain information from environment. This implies there will be integration of lot many sensors on that particular thing, and then finally the system will be taking a call. 150 cycle, this is the change which is needed. कर लो. ठीक? आप लोगों ने इंजीनियरिंग मटेरियल्स पढ़े हुए हैं, सब ने पढ़े होंगे, पढ़े हुए हैं सब. आप अपनी याददाश्त से बताओ ऐसा कौन सा मटेरियल है जिसका बहुत हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट होता है? वेरी हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. मेल्टिंग पॉइंट की बात कर रहा हूँ यार, इलेक्ट्रिकल की बात नहीं कर रहा. मेल्टिंग समझ गए ना भाई? फ्रिज में आइस रखी हुई है, बाहर निकाल के मैंने छोड़ दी, वो पानी बन गया, मेल्ट हो गया. एल्यूमिनियम है, मैंने उसको गर्म किया, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द अलॉय ग्रेड 600 to 650 660 सेंटीग्रेड इट विल मेल्ट. तो ऐसा कौन सा मटेरियल जो आपको लगता है ऐसा बहुत हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट होता है? अरे वाह, बहुत बढ़िया. 3,422 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. द टेम्परेचर रेंज दैट आई एम स्पीकिंग अबाउट इज 8,000 to 20,000 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. 8,000 to 20,000 degrees centigrade. Those people who have understanding about plasma, there is a particular process which is named as plasma arc machining. Sometimes in that particular process temperature can go as high as 50,000 degrees centigrade. ठीक है जी? So 150th cycle in a second, temperature in range of, let's say, 15,000 degrees centigrade. I have to now do a chemical reaction which do not require any thermal input. तो मुझे प्रोसेस में चेंज करना पड़ेगा बहुत जल्दी. Got it? It is a complicated system and it is not easy. And until and unless we do something like this, we will not be able to create that particular environment which is really needed for current scenario. Why? Because boss ye ban gaya, so you will be having a specialization. Nobody else can do it. You are already working with the standardization part. ठीक है sir? So I need data. This implies data has to be fetched. Some sensors have to be there. This particular data will be stored somewhere, so I need storage devices. This data has to be processed, so I need a lot of GPUs in it. I need to build some initial algorithms. AI, in my own understanding, is more focused on building those algorithms. ठीक है, एक्सप्लेनेबल AI होता है, सुना हुआ है सब चीज़ों के बारे में, एल्गोरिदम के बारे में सुना है सब. AI में कुछ होता है, सबसे बेसिक कहानी शुरू होती है आर्टिफिशियल न्यूरल नेटवर्क से. ठीक, देन यू गो डीपर एंड डीपर एंड डीपर, यू ब्रिंग इन मोर एंड मोर complexity, more and more layers. I am having a particular scenario where maybe there are 350 more parameters which vary at a very quick pace, and I need to build an algorithm to understand what has to be a corrective action. This implies I need to have a proper understanding about process physics, integrate my algorithm with that. So what you have is sensors integrated going into a data acquisition system, going with the storage. Data analytics comes into picture. With that particular data analysis, data is identified to take a corrective call. That corrective call basically gives an input to what happens on the machine interface. Finally the result comes out. क्या हुआ इस पूरी कहानी में? The machine which I am talking about is able to work on metals. It is able to work on non-metals. It is able to work on materials which are very hard, for example glass, diamond, ceramic. If needed, it can even work on rubbers. The precision by which this particular machine works in terms of tolerance is 0.1 micrometer. सिर पे जो बाल हैं इनका एवरेज डायमीटर होता है 100 माइक्रोमीटर. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट टॉलरेंस विच इज 0.01 माइक्रोमीटर. बड़ी चीज है क्या साहब? मशीन बनाना बड़ी बात नहीं है, सेंसर को इंटीग्रेट करना बड़ी बात नहीं है, डेटा एक्विजिशन सिस्टम बड़ी बात नहीं है. इसमें जो आपने कुछ डेटा एनालिटिक्स किया, वो कुछ add on कर रहा था, that is not a big thing, but integrating all of those particular things in one place is big. Imagine having 40 odd such machines which are operating in one go at a particular place where there is centralized processing going on, similar to what used to be earlier DNC, but here there is a real-time monitoring and control. Did I need reach to that particular level what is mentioned in industry 4.0? आया क्या industry 4.0? चलिए, do you need a break or can I continue? चाय वाय पिलवाते हैं क्या या ऐसे ही बैठा के रखते हैं? तो जब चाय तैयार हो जाए तो बता देना भैया, ठीक है? ओके. You see, all of you have enough experience in your work profile. I'm bringing this entire thing from slightly outer so that I can go back again just to create a context. All of you have an expertise of your domain. Some of you may have an experience of maybe few decades. Some of you who are fresh, of course, they also have their own experiences. How many times you have identified in your professional life that maybe a colleague who is maybe at a lower level of hierarchy has approached to you, sir, madam, ये हो नहीं रहा, आपको एक बार देखना पड़ेगा. हुआ है क्या साहब ऐसा कभी? अच्छा, ऐसा भी कभी हुआ कि कभी आपने देखा और वो 1 मिनट के अंदर आपको पता है कि क्या करना है इसमें? हुआ है? हुआ है ना? All right. I've supervised many PhD theses, and I'm still supervising some maybe 14 odd students. From last few years, I've taken a call. Was for 6 months or 1 year, you play on your work. I will help you in identifying a good problem, and then you work on it. Wherever you are stuck, then you call me. Often I've identified that whenever they have called me, in maybe first 1 minute or so, I'll tell them this is the way. तुम handle गलत कर रहे हो. This is the maybe your understanding of the process is wrong. This is something which is happening. You correct it. What is happening here, sir? When you give them a suggestion, your colleagues, or maybe when I give a suggestion to my students, it is maybe some level of thought process which is inside, which has built over a period of time. Can you make a machine which can actually mimic me or mimic you and integrate that particular machine with this particular concept which is already available? Industry 5.0 is Industry 4.0 plus human element added to it. Because all algorithms which are being designed right now, they are able to reach to a very high level, but still some human being can design them, boss. And maybe that particular human being may not have the real experience which you have gained. Can that particular thing go in? If yes, that is bringing some level of Industry 5.0. थोड़ा सा वापस लेके आते हैं. Do you recall that when I started, I talked about sustainability, circular economy, all those particular things? Yes? While this process is working on, what is the operational cost? Can it be identified? आसान है ना, प्रोसेस चल रहा है, कुछ रॉ मटेरियल लग रहा होगा, some liquid electrolyte, some dielectric, some salts which are added. So I know their cost. Some power which I will be consuming in doing all of those particular things. Some power will be going in GPUs and all those things. So I can calculate it. Agreed? So there will be a total cost coming up. This entire thing, it's fine because you are in a research oriented mode. You develop something new while actual impact on environment. If yes, I am now able to reach that particular goal of Industry 5.0. कैसे कर सकते हैं? Capacity building is something I have talked. What do you understand by capacity building? क्या समझते हैं capacity building क्या है? I'm not talking about capacity which is in a plant. About capacity building. बताओ साहब, किसकी capacity build हो रही है? Answer is human beings. New skilling, upskilling, reskilling. As an educational institute or maybe a university, we have to identify ways how to do it. All right, the technical part is over. Now I am talking about how to plan for that particular policy. And you can play a very important role in it. So please find that particular place where you can play a role. So as an academic institute and a university, we are in the best place to really create this particular difference. But you see, traditionally what happens is there is a particular course which we teach. There will be a subject. That subject will be having a syllabus which will be according to a particular structure which somebody has identified or a committee has approved. And then finally, we devote our entire time in delivering that particular subject. Am I right, sir? Yes. You are too expert. You teach 2 subjects. You have more expertise. You teach 3. Or maybe there are less number of people who can share that particular load, so you are doing it. In that particular course which you are delivering right now, can you find an opportunity for capacity building of the human resources which will be taking benefit of your subject so that they can fulfill something in industry 4.0 plus something which makes it in 5.0. क्या ऐसा कर सकते हैं? Let me give an example. During my sort of an introduction, I told you that I made many processes. What I have done is, there are multiple research projects in which I am involved, where we have to provide a solution for an existing problem, and many a times it is a difficult kind of a solution. That is why it is a research problem. Whatever products that came out, we have identified to use those particular products in future training of our own students. So now, if I have this particular system, if somebody is going to ask me that okay, I want to use this system, I will not give them for free. टेक ट्रांसफर तो करना है ना भाई, वो प्रॉफिट कैसे कमाना है वो तो इम्पोर्टेंट बात है ना. सो academicians, if they do not enter into technology transfers for money, sorry, it may not be a very good thing. क्यों? उनको लैब चलाना है ना, चीज़ें आगे भी बढ़ाना. इट इज़ नॉट फॉर देयर ओन प्रॉफिट, इट इज़ फॉर देयर इकोसिस्टम. ऑलराइट. एंड व्हेन योर बेबी grows big and your baby earns for someone, it is the biggest accomplishment. Baby means जैसे बच्चा होता है ना हमारा, बड़ा हो गया, कमाने लगा, छाती चौड़ी हो गई. The same thing happens with an academic researcher. If the technology which he or she or a group has developed, if it gets transferred and there is some monetary component associated with it, boss, that is the biggest accomplishment. Naturally, patent and all those things will be there. So what we have done is, whatever technology that we developed, we use that same technology for training of future course of engineers which are coming, UG students, PG students, PhD students. But we now also provide these resources for capacity building of industries. तो मैंने क्या किया जी, मशीन बनाई थी, सब कुछ कर दिया, बहुत बढ़िया आउटपुट भी आ रहा है. इंडस्ट्री वालों आ जाओ. क्यों? अगर तुम बड़ी इंडस्ट्री हो और तुम्हारा एक डेफिनेट फोकस एरिया है विच इज मे बी नॉट डायरेक्टली अलाइंड विद माई वर्क, but when I explain to your people that how we have developed it, they will now have a plan in their own head that when they go back they can do a similar work, possibly in a different domain. So now industry is directly coming in R&D zone. You may not have much understanding about research and development. Fine, we are here to assist you. Whenever you are stuck, please approach us. We will be giving you a third person perspective. Along with that, being an academic researcher, we work in depth. You work for fulfillment of targets, but the depth component is sometimes not available. We will provide that. So what happens? There is an effective academia industry interaction. Am I using this thing for reskilling, upskilling and new skilling? Yes. Can you do that? Can you do that? Our focus is not commercials. We are doing it because can we make an impact? We want to have an answer as yes. That's all. सर आपका स्पेशली डोमेन क्या है, किस एरिया में काम करते हो? मशीन लर्निंग में. सर क्या करते हो मशीन लर्निंग में? कुछ एक आध एग्जांपल बताओ. थोड़ा बहुत जो पहले किया होगा. अरे सर मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर से बात कर रहे हो, इंडस्ट्री बैकग्राउंड के, ठीक है, कोर बात करता है वो खरी खरी. सर एक बात बताओ कि आउटपुट क्या निकलने वाला है. बच्चे को अप्रोच सिखा दोगे, ठीक है सर, वो बच्चा उस अप्रोच को सीख के करेगा क्या? स्टूडेंट ने वो अप्रोच सीख ली, वो तो गूगल पे भी है. चैट जीपीटी को यूज करूंगा, मुझे ज़्यादा अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन बना के देगा. अभी कुछ दिनों पहले मुझे एक नीति आयोग में प्रेजेंटेशन देना था. आई वॉज टू बिजी और रात को 11 बजे मुझे लगा कि यार मैं शायद बहुत थक गया हूँ एंड मे बी आई नीड टू हैव अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. तो मैंने अपने टीम मेंबर को कहा भाई इसको ज़रा चैट जीपीटी डाल के ज़रा एक नरेशन बना देना. उसे 3 मिनट में करके दे दिया. ठीक, क्या स्टेप्स थी? चैट जीपीटी, आई हैव टू डिलीवर अ प्रेजेंटेशन, कैन यू गिव मी अ नरेशन? उसने अगला रिस्पॉन्स दिया यस, कैन यू अपलोड इट टाइप, इसी तरह की कुछ लैंग्वेज थी. वो अपलोड किया, उसने कुछ मुझे नरेशन दे दिया. फिर अगला क्वेश्चन उसने पूछा, डू यू वांट मी टू सेंड यू एज अ पीडीएफ और वर्ड? मैंने लिख दिया यस. तो सर बच्चे को क्या मिलने वाला है? ये तो वही भी वहां भी हो सकता है ना, कंप्लीटली ऑटोमेटेड सिस्टम हो गया है. There is an algorithm or there are algorithms which are used for this particular thing. What new you are doing? I am sure, sir, it will be very difficult for you to answer it. And in fact, if the same question will be asked from me by somebody else, it will be difficult for me. What new you are doing? The thing is, in your academic curriculum, we have some topics. Can we create a scenario where our students can have a practical exposure of its actual use? कैसे होगा? I need to make teams. So sir, maybe somebody who is working in electrical engineering domain, who is working in, let's say, collection of sensor data. Can you make a team with him or her? Add a team member from somewhere who is working in, let's say, chemical engineering. Can you identify what are their pluses and what are their minuses? How you can compensate them, and then engage your student to develop a particular study where all these hybrid domain areas come into picture. If yes, great, you did a good job. वो टीम बिल्डिंग बहुत जरूरी है. प्रॉब्लम सबसे बड़ा क्या है सर? academicians usually they are deep thinkers, and many a times those deep thinkers may not really appreciate to interact with too many people, especially in the research zone. It can happen. There are people who make wonderful teams. नोबेल प्राइज एक को मिलता है, उसके पीछे बहुत बड़ी टीम होती है. एक आदमी का काम नहीं होता वो. ठीक, वो बहुत बड़ी टीम कैसे बनेगी? 2 कदम तुम चलो, 2 कदम कोई और चलेगा. हो सकता है उसके वाले डोमेन में प्राइज मिल जाए, हो सकता है आपके वाले में मिल जाए. सो academia has to understand that can they do something so that hybrid research can be done in their classrooms, and if yes, can they use their students for this? स्टूडेंट को चाहिए क्या? उसको चाहिए चैलेंज. हमको बचपन से ये पता है कि गेम खेलने में बहुत मजा आता है. क्यों? क्योंकि गेम में होती है पजल. हम चाहते हैं उस पजल को सॉल्व करना और जीतना, चाहे वो क्रिकेट का गेम हो, चाहे वीडियो गेम हो. एग्रीड सर? सो कैन वी क्रिएट दैट सेम सिनेरियो इन आवर क्लासरूम्स वेयर ऑल ऑफ दीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स कम इन? मैं आपको छोटे छोटे एग्जांपल देता हूँ. देयर आर फ्यू सब्जेक्ट्स. बाय द वे, इन लास्ट 15 years I have taught maybe 17 odd subjects, and usually every 2 years, 3 years, sometimes every semester I change the subject. New ideas come in, and for that I have to exert, so which opens the thought process. And sometimes I'm a complete novice in a particular zone, but just to learn that particular field, like यार ये subject पढ़ा लेता हूँ इस बार. And mind it, our UG students are exceptional. Okay, you cannot go there with a white face. You need to know more than them, and you need to challenge them. Then only they will listen to you. So there are some subjects which are theoretical, which are boring. There are some subjects which have numerical. There are some subjects which have a combination of both of them. Teaching theory is very difficult. Anybody from mechanical engineering background here? Sir, manufacturing पढ़ाई है फर्स्ट ईयर को?
नहीं सर, पढ़ाएंगे सर.
पढ़ाई नहीं है, पढ़ी है.
पढ़ी है
तो सर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैसी है सर जो फर्स्ट ईयर पढ़ती है? इंटरेस्टिंग है? बताओ यार. एक ऐसे आदमी को जिसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बैकग्राउंड है, मुंह पे बोला जा रहा है.
सर एक्चुअली मेरा थ्योरी पार्ट तो वीक है.
It's not about you. It happens with everyone. When it becomes too theoretical, मर्चेंट सर्कल डायग्राम, यार ये बताओ ना यार, मेरे को करना क्या है उसका? मेरे से प्रोफेसर के इंटरव्यू के पहले पूछा गया था एक इनिशियल शॉर्टलिस्टिंग में, मर्चेंट सर्कल डायग्राम क्या होता है? मैंने कहा यार फुल प्रोफेसर आईआईटी में बड़ी मुश्किल से आते हैं यार, मेरे पास बहुत टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड है, प्लीज डोंट इंसल्ट मी बाय आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन. नहीं, यू ड्रॉ इट एंड शो अस. बना दिया भैया, ठीक है. द इशू इज my student is even unable to appreciate why that particular thing is being taught to him. हम भी बताते हैं सब फोर्सेस लग रहे हैं, फलाना हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है. Fine. Can I ask my students to create a product? Product can be hardware, it can be software, where some expertise comes from you and your subject, specifically from your subject, Some expertise come from another academician who is working in a different domain, maybe from a different department. हो सकता है शाम को आप चाय पीते हो, उससे कोई पंचायत कर लो. Another faculty या SRA वाले भाई साहब हैं, इनसे कोई एक्सपर्टीज मिल जाएगा. तो उससे होगा क्या? स्टूडेंट का थॉट प्रोसेस उभरेगा. What is really needed for the time is you need to have an amalgamation of software and hardware technologies. One example is right in front of you. Yes, sir. One example is right now in front of you. Is it my complete expertise? No. No. Yes, something I know, something I learned, but there is a lot of expertise which is coming from maybe other people. Alright? Of course, my name is there as the first person in patent. और ट्रांसफर में पैसा मिलेगा वो भी मुझे ही मिलेगा. ठीक? But there is a lot of expertise which I need, and maybe we create another scenario where somebody else is not then is having their name as first person. So academia interaction among themselves is something which is a prime requirement. If you are not working in that, please do it. Academia plus industry interaction where you can involve them. हो सकता है एग्जैक्ट डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज नहीं हो, फिर भी बात करो, ऐसे पर्सपेक्टिव मिलेंगे which will be adding value. Alright? Next. ब्रेक ले लें सर? हाँ, sure. Do I need to stop it?
All of you are back. Hope you all had refreshing break. Now sir will continue the session.
Can I start? All right. So, continuing from the point where we left, if you look at the current slide, you will find there are 5 pointers, and whatever approaches that we had discussed till now, these particular 5, let's say, possibilities, in certain cases issues, will not be there. There will be least resistance for change because people are getting new opportunities. Apart from that, they may also have opportunity to earn more. Why? Because the company in which they are working is providing the opportunity to earn more. But as an academician, of course, we have to slightly work in this particular direction. How to do it? So, I was talking about academia interaction. Alright? From my own personal experiences, when I was a, let's say, young UG student, I used to hear academia interaction and industry interaction, that this is very important. I'm still hearing it and I'm saying it. Recently I attended a presentation by Dr. R. Mishelkar, who also said the same thing. This is very important. How to work in a mode where we create more enabling opportunities. How many of you have heard about something which is called a startup? I hope everyone. As we sit here, and maybe if you look towards your right, you will see a door in which it must be written something like incubation. लिखा हुआ है क्या साहब? Okay. One of the best thing which is available right now in India is startup ecosystem. Are there good outcomes? There can be certain challenges to this particular question, but of course the outcomes are in a very positive direction. And my understanding about startups is two things, which is very, very important. First is a startup which will be growing and possibly in an academic institute. If it works on technology, it is a need. It has to work on technology. So whether they work in computer science domain, where they work in manufacturing domain, they work in, let's say, anything where maybe some communication is there, some technology has to be there. So the technical intervention is a requirement for startups to fulfill. And if they do it, it is going to add a lot of value to Indian ecosystem. Whether startups working in pure business form, whether that is good, yes, anything which earns money is fine. But yes, if you own a technology, you have a greater edge, more respect. Working in domain of space sector, working in domain of, let's say, shipbuilding, working in domain where EVs come into picture, hydrogen powered vehicles comes into picture. There are so many domains which are available which give good opportunities. The second requirement is startups have a benefit of agility. They are fast, considering that they have a small team, usually made by people who are sometimes like-minded. Even if there are differences, it is because they are coming from a diverse background, and this which gives creativity. But being a small team, it becomes easier. It do not goes through multiple level of hierarchies, which is usually there in a corporate environment. And mind it, in universities that particular hierarchy is too much. We need to find ways how it becomes a flatter organizations. This is one of the reasons why IITs, IIMs have been flourishing, because we believe in a very flat kind of an environment. A professor is teaching and doing research, an assistant professor also doing teaching and research. So there are no hierarchies. You can easily approach the director whenever needed. Alright, and they would be more than happy because that director is also a professor. Many a times in corporate ladder there are few hierarchies, so maybe startups are a good point where this agility is there. And since academia also works in a slightly flatter way, or maybe they can easily work in that way, we have to find ways how startups can be engaged to do a better work. How to do it? Majority of universities right now have incubation centers. Alright, how many of you are from, let's say, other institutes other than this university? Please raise your hands. Other than Vikrant University, but from an academic institute. अभी कोई नहीं है यहाँ पे? स्टूडेंट्स हैं यहाँ पे? स्टूडेंट्स हैं? आप कहाँ के स्टूडेंट हो भाई? अरे जोर से बोलो ना यार. यहीं से हो? क्या पढ़ रहे हो? बीटेक कर रहे हो? क्या ब्रांच है? इलेक्ट्रिकल से कर रहे हो, बहुत बढ़िया. नाम क्या है भैया आपका? रेहान. बड़ा खूबसूरत नाम है. सो रेहान, इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर कहाँ पर है आसपास में? विक्रांत में. क्या होता है उसमें? अरे बैठो यार, बैठो. क्या होता है उसमें?
सर नए आइडिया स्टार्टअप्स जो रहते हैं बच्चों को,
हाँ,
उनको एक स्पेस दिया जाता है, उसमें वो अपना स्टार्ट कर सके, एक एनवायरनमेंट दिया जाता है.
अच्छा, तो वो एनवायरनमेंट में क्या होता है?
उनको फाइनेंशियली सपोर्ट या फिर टेक्निकली सपोर्ट जो रहता है वो
अच्छा, तो क्या ग्रांट मिलती है? ग्रांट मतलब समझते हो ना, आप कुछ करना चाहते हो, आप किसी को भाई मेरे को ये करना है, तो जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. इट इज दैट ग्रांट. क्या ग्रांट मिलती है? अच्छा, विक्रांत, आसपास के जो इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं उनमें कौन सा ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूट है जिसमें इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर बहुत अच्छा है, जिसका आपने नाम सुना है? नहीं पता है भी कि नहीं? ऐसी कोई यूनिवर्सिटी है या कोई इंस्टीट्यूट है, लेट्स से in and around of, let's say, 100 kilometers from this place, where you have heard that name ki okay, so many incubators, so many startups from those incubators? है वो नंबर? Rehan, in India, Uttar Pradesh is one state which has recently come up with 9,000 startups. कितना? It is a big number. ठीक? I'm not very sure how many of those startups will be performing wonderfully, but I'm very sure if this particular number is there, every startup wants to do good work, and this implies this agility is available. All right? As an academic institute, if you are, let's say, a faculty, or in an academic institute, if you are a student, if you can enter into this particular zone, the bus is moving, you just have to catch it. Create a startup. If needed, put in some of your thought process as well as resources. Other support will be coming from somewhere. Maybe industry will provide that, maybe from their CSR head, maybe government will be providing some ways. There is a Startup India seed fund scheme which provide 20 lakh rupees for new startups. As startups mature, CII has a startup affiliate program. So after 2 years, if you have done something exceptionally well, you can enter into that particular affiliate program. They will be joining multiple big corporates for getting the job done. So there are many things which are available. But guiding principle in this case is बस technical होना चाहिए. All right? If it is a business, fine. But we already have so many extraordinary cases. Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, LoSmart. There's so many. But technical कुछ होता तो बढ़िया रहता. And in fact, this is the current need which has been mentioned by Government of India, that we have to enter into that particular zone where we can do some technical interventions. Space. Elon Musk भाई साहब ने पूरी दुनिया में सैटेलाइट सिस्टम्स लगा दिए. अब वो कहते हैं तारों की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. यार मैं हिंदुस्तान में ऐसा कुछ कर सकता हूँ क्या? मान लो उस लेवल पे नहीं कर सकता, तो क्या ऐसी कोई रिक्वायरमेंट है उस जोन में जो आज रह गई और मैं फुलफिल कर लूँ विद माई थॉट प्रोसेस, विच इज़ ऑफ कोर्स एन इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी डोमेन, इंडस्ट्री 5.0. If yes, there are so many things which can be done. For those people who have an industry background, you see, you can always tell your owners or maybe decision makers in a group, if it is a big, large industry, that there is a new emerging opportunity. So you have gone through so many sessions in this particular course. You must have received some information about a new opportunity which exists. You can propose to your decision makers or maybe your owners ki boss, this is a new opportunity. As an industry, maybe it would be difficult for us to enter into it because we have our own defined goals. Can we create a small cell in our industry which integrates with certain academic unit, and we have a startup in which we provide either some support or we even take an active role in that. Let the startup work on it in developing it. Let the startup work from TRL 1 to TRL 9 and then fulfilling the MRL levels. And as an industry, we co-create with them. And when the technology matures, fine, we would be the first one to buy it. बच्चों का भी भला हो गया, फैकल्टी जो इन्वॉल्व है उनका भी हो गया, आपको एक नया आइडिया मिल गया और वो आइडिया ऐसा मिला which is workable. Why? Because it has gone through all those stages. And mind it, you did not invested much of your time on it. You continue working on new possibilities, but since you have information of what is going on new by that startup, your thought process is also going to add value. And that thought process is also going to add value to you. And when it adds value to you, your company gets a new opportunity. ऐसा कर सकते हैं क्या? I have, by the way, IIT Roorkee's ecosystem has come 300 plus startups. We have 2 incubators. Both those incubators are working phenomenally well. compared to, let's say, the connectivity disadvantage which we have. We do not have access to an airport. The nearest airport takes 1.5 hours sometimes. If somebody has to fly to, let's say, international location, we have to go to Delhi, which takes 3.5 hours. And maybe that particular travel is not convenient for everyone. Still, my incubators are doing extraordinary well. More than 55 faculty members of my institute have their own startups. 55 छोटा नंबर नहीं होता साहब. Many of those particular startups are in revenue zone. They're earning money. They started in last 3-4 years, maybe 3 years. Majority of them. इसका मतलब opportunity है. In mind that they are coming from IIT, so basically the idea is technical. I have people from computer science background, pure computer science background, who work on image analysis, basically mathematics, and they have a startup. ठीक है सर. सर वो आप कुछ यान के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, कुछ रोल वाली. हाउ डू एंश्योर क्वालिटी? हाउ डू एंश्योर कि बस जो बना है वो ठीक ठाक है?
For yarn
Huh.
quality, we are checking by the quality team the spec that
So,
given by the
explain me, sir. I am a common man without any technical background, and please explain. You are coming from industry with a lot of experience. Explain to me in simple terms. How do you check it?
क्वालिटी की टीम उस पर 3-4 पैरामीटर्स की टेस्टिंग करती है और उसके रिजल्ट्स जो निकालते हैं.
What are the parameters? Tensile strength, fine. How do they test it? All right. How much time it takes to test on a U team? Some guesstimate. All right. So mounting and other things, some more time is needed. All right. Next tester.
Actually, I am in the IT background. I am not.
Some chemical analysis. Agreed. Any other test which you can recall? All right, sir. Sir, let's imagine that you have given me an answer that there are some 4 tests which are used for characterization of that particular yarn quality. All right. Let us also imagine that there are some timings which are needed to do it, some manpower is needed to do it. Maybe timing is A, B, C, D, 5 minute, 10 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute sort of thing. So overall, it basically takes 30 minutes to complete all those series of tests. How many tests you do in a particular, let's say, production cycle?
One day, randomly, we take sample basis batch.
Okay. So how many samples, sir? Just a guesstimate. How many samples?
Around 4-5 samples.
5 samples. So fine. 5 in a day. This implies 2.5 hour manpower requirement time for 4 tests. Alright, and I hope there will be some space requirement as well to do it. Sir, can you work with a startup to give you one particular device which will not be taking a lot of space, where this particular device has AI inbuilt in it, and basically you just put a strand of that particular yarn which will not take more time because there will be 2 simple clips and just defining the product. Alright, and in 30 seconds it gives you the result. First test, second test, third test, fourth test. Maybe some image analysis is there, maybe some tensile testing is there, maybe some strain measurement is there, and the startup developed this particular design. Will you be saving 2.5 hour manpower requirement along with space, and it would be a tabletop kind of a thing? Sir, you saved 2.5 hour in a day, multiply with, let's say, 26 days in a month, multiplied by 12 in a year. There will be again labor coming into that particular part, so there will be some cost analysis. Basically now you have to put lesser resources. If this is a viable idea, can you float that particular thing to our academic researchers? Mechanical testing is mechanical engineer's job. Let us just assume anybody can do it, but let's assume. So basically a student who is working in mechanical, maybe a faculty is working in it, can do it. If there is some sort of a visual inspection which is needed where you have to do some automation, that is an image analysis job. So there can be someone from computer science background or mathematics who can do it. There is some particular requirement wherein you need to develop algorithms, so somebody who is working in developing algorithms can do that. And sir, one member from your side who can always say, boss, I am giving you this particular problem, I am also giving you some resources, but I also have an equity share in it. And once this particular thing is completed, you will be handing over this particular thing to me as a tech transfer. Alright? We will find out ways how to give you an equivalent compensation. ऐसा ट्राई हो सकता है क्या? तो हमने क्या किया सर? इनोवेशन कर दिया. All such devices, whatever data that is there, that entire data is logged. Once that particular data is logged for, let's say, a year's period, that entire data is henceforth analyzed to identify what were the internal parameters which were used for development of that particular yarn. And this implies I know what are the causes in problems which happened with the particular yarn. I bring in blockchain. I reach to my suppliers. भाई ये वाला जो तुम दिए थे 2 साल पहले, उसमें तुम्हारे लेवल पे ये गलती हुई थी, तो कोशिश करो यार आगे से नहीं हो. तुम्हें पता नहीं है तो तरीका मैं बताता हूँ. और मे बी इफ द सप्लायर इज वेरी बैड, यू नाउ हैव अ लॉजिक जस्ट टू रिफ्यूज देयर इनपुट. हो सकता है. क्यों भाई रियान, कर सकते हो इस तरह का काम? कर सकते हो ना. इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर तुम्हारे हैं ही, और तुम्हें सांप को पकड़ना है. ठीक है, आइडिया हमने फ्री में बताई दिया है. एक सिंपल सी प्रॉब्लम जो आज से अभी से बात से शुरू की थी. देयर कैन बी मेनी सच थिंग्स, मेनी. ठीक है. It's not a question to Rian, it's a question to all the colleagues who are in academics here, irrespective of the domain. It's a question to all those particular students that yes, there is a possibility, would you like to avail it? And it's a question to all those industry people. You all have your excellent backgrounds, excellent experiences. Great. Tell your company that there is something which is available. Please seek that opportunity. अभी भी तो होता होगा उस तरह का काम. But होता क्या है? Let me give you my understanding. There will be somebody who will be acting as a consultant. बॉस एक नया प्लान बनाना है, प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट, साइट, मशीनरी कौन सी चाहिए, वो रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से डीपीआर में आया और मैंने काम शुरू कर दिया. ऐसे ही होता है ना सर, कि कुछ और होता है? यही होता है. कैन आई से कि मुझे इंडस्ट्री की थोड़ी समझ है. The thing is, if we do not inculcate R&D in mindset of our industries, how can Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0 really come up? कोई बाहर से आके क्यों करेगा? वो तो अपना प्रॉफिट के लिए कर रहा है ना यार. एक आदमी अपने यहाँ से लगा दो. आपके यहाँ 10 यूनिट हैं, 10 यूनिट से एक आदमी वहाँ से निकालो, 10 लोग पहुँच गए जोन में. Working in depth where academics is needed is maybe not your forte. Reach out to right people. Don't only reach out to IITs, don't only reach out to NITs or big institutes. Sorry, we do not have a magic weapon, we do not have a magic stick. घुमाया और काम हो गया. Okay, of course we have wonderful human resources, we have developed few good facilities. Those facilities are always available to you. यूज करना है, आराम से करिए. Government of India has made a portal which is named as iSTEM. Those who are having a background of academics, please note this down. I-STEM. Those who are in industry, also please note this down. I-STEM. This is managed by Office of Principal Scientific Advisor. ISC Bangalore basically manages this as a portal. All the equipments which are procured from public money in India are listed on this particular portal. Any Indian researcher can book a particular equipment for whatever research they want to do. आप समझे? 23 IIT का सारा हिसाब किताब, जितने NIT हैं उन सब का सारा हिसाब, जो भी पब्लिक मनी से खरीदा हुआ है इक्विपमेंट, वो आपको अवेलेबल है. लेकिन यूज कैसे करना है और किस जगह यूज करना है वो आपको बताना पड़ेगा. So you don't have dearth of equipments. Government has already taken care of that. ठीक? How to use iSTEM? You just have to make a profile on it. ठीक? Search where is that particular facility which you need. For example, UTM. सर्च करेंगे तो मैप पे दिखा देगा कहाँ पे UTM है. खुद क्यों खरीदनी है? Please outsource your research to academic institutes. You use some equipment which are basically very, very, very important. Do that outsourcing. Let them have this particular exposure. What is requirement of industry? अगर कर पाए, job done. All right. Anybody from management background here? मैनेजमेंट बैकग्राउंड क्या कर रहे हो भैया मैनेजमेंट में? MBA. क्या स्पेशलाइजेशन है? HR में सबसे बड़ा इशू क्या होता है यार? MBA HR वाले हो, क्या इशू होता है HR में सबसे बड़ा? अच्छे लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई करना. ऑल राइट. देन और कोई HR इशू होता है? तुमने स्क्रीन कर लिया, ठीक है. कैसे करते हैं स्क्रीनिंग? रिज्यूमे तो चैट जीपीटी लिखता है आजकल. देयर आर so many tools available to write a good resume. Okay. I'm now giving you certain possibilities in each and every domain. So for example, if I have a scenario where maybe my company works for identifying good people for industry, which is basically an HR's job, I need to do so many activities. One of that particular activity is identifying the background of candidate. Okay? Can I use AI for that? नहीं. क्यों? जब मैंने एडवर्टाइजमेंट इशू किया, so I ensured that whatever information that candidate will be giving will have to follow certain format. I asked for all that particular information which I can easily check from social media. Yes, those particular posts are available in open domain. I have developed a particular system which basically tracks all of those particular things automatically. ये सर का काम है. सर आपका नाम क्या है? Arun. So Arun has developed, let's say, a software package which basically automates this entire search. Arun, is it possible? I hope it is not difficult. It is possible, and somebody can do it manually, which is going to take time, but an automated system can do it very quickly. You do that particular search on that automated system, your company gets, let's say, a far better output in less amount of time. हो सकता है? Feasible? Is this idea appreciable? लोग कर रहे हैं इस तरह का काम, कोई बड़ी चीज़ नहीं है. The issue is I now have another scenario where whatever information that, let's say, I as a candidate am giving to you, I do not want you to get anything sensitive. Is it again a requirement? भाई मैं नहीं देना चाहता आपको वो वाली इन्फॉर्मेशन. हो सकता है मैंने 5 साल पहले कोई गलती किया था, ठीक है, गलती से बोल दिया था, कुछ वहीं पे रिकॉर्ड हो गया सोशल मीडिया पे, वो दैट डजंट डिफाइंस माय पर्सनालिटी. इट इज पॉसिबल ना. सो आई अप्रोच अ पर्टिकुलर कंपनी, बॉस कैन यू एंश्योर हाउ टू डू some help to me. That particular company works in the domain of cyber security. Yes, whatever information that you will be giving to this will have to pass through our set of rules which we have defined, so that this particular information, when it goes out in open domain, does not reveals anything negative for you. क्या हुआ? Another business opportunity. All right. Let's bring both of these particular examples to the machine which we have seen earlier. There is a lot of data which is being collected. This particular collected data is going in cloud. Do I need cybersecurity here? Yes. Your factory, when it works, it has lot of data. Majority of data right now may be in some sort of a computer interface where you may be having sort of a system like a SAP, and you put an input in that. What happens if that particular system gets breached? You can buy an existing solution, and alternative ways you can approach an academic institute ki boss, we have a very small kind of an ecosystem, can you ensure that you give us a solution which can ensure that my data remains safe? Whenever possible, I can easily retrieve it. Is it possible? There are some big players in market. I will not name them. In fact, I have managed IIT Roorkee's R&D ecosystem for quite a few years. And when I say managed, I basically did nothing. I just assisted, because we have wonderful people who are doing good work there. But again, in all of those particular aspects, one thing which I observe, it's very important. And availability of data at right time, and availability of right data at right time. That is something which is very important. And also to ensure that the data which may not go out, it should not go out. The players which are available in the market who are working for providing such kind of a tools, they are expensive. They are expensive, really expensive. So there is a new business opportunity. Coming to that machine part, I have machine, I have data. If I have worked for, let's say, a process in which your company give me a problem on my machine, that data is something which is with me. Tomorrow I can send it to your competitor. And since I am using all those particular algorithms with blockchain, I also have information about your suppliers. Okay, so do you have a business opportunity? Yes, you now can basically bring a startup in it. भाई तेरा ये काम है. You have an expertise, लेके चलिए. Okay. This will also help in integrating many things. So, for example, your legal cell. Those people who are involved in developing MOUs and MOAs, all people who are involved in contracts, all of them will be having a system-wide information that what things they have to ensure. You just don't have to follow, in precedent there was a legal contract, let us just change the name and just sign it, which is usually the usual practice. You now know that what are those new things which are coming up. Integration of all of those particular things by developing and bringing in more business opportunities. If we take a right step in that direction, right now there are so many extraordinary policies which Government of India has made, extraordinary. They have real focus. And if you are able to avail them, you will be the first to earn profit out of it. And of course, it would be giving a bigger and far better picture of entire ecosystem. It will be improving startups, it will be improving industry, it will be improving academia, and more or less, it will be bringing India to that particular level where people can say, yes, it is a economical superpower. Weapons में हो सकता है हम कल बड़े हो जाएं, नहीं हो, बट इकोनॉमिकल सुपर पावर है तो वेपन्स में अपने आप हो जाएंगे. इकोनॉमिकल सुपर पावर है तो हेल्थ अपने आप सुधर जाएगा. इकोनॉमिकल सुपर पावर है, एजुकेशन सिस्टम अपने आप सुधर जाएगा. तो जो लोग लक्ष्मी पुत्र हैं या लक्ष्मी के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, स्पेशली इंडस्ट्री, इफ यू कैन डू समथिंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन, इट विल give opportunities to academia to work more in that direction. Your help as well as sometimes your guidance and sometimes your criticism is needed. Next 2 years, 3 years are very important for us. AI is coming up big. We have to just take benefit of that particular speed for our favor. Let's act as a batsman. बाहर जाते हुए बॉल को जो 150 किलोमीटर पर आवर पे आ रही है उसको धीरे से बल्ला छुड़ा देना है और छक्का ले जाना है. If we can do that, it's fine. If there are any questions, anything which you want to ask, I am open. Please feel free.
सर
Please.
जैसा कि सर आपने अभी बताया था कि जो स्टार्टअप्स के लिए जोमेटो है, स्विगी है, ये सारे सर जो नॉन टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड के जो वीकनेसेस हैं वो समझ में आता है सर. लेकिन जैसे आपने बताया अभी सर से बात हुई थी कि टेक्निकल फील्ड में कोई ऐसा सेंसर बनाए जो 2.5 घंटे का वर्क जो पैरामीटर 5-10 मिनट्स में
अभी चल रहा है सेशन. प्लीज कंटिन्यू. सेशन चल रहा है अभी.
हाँ सर, तो वो एक्चुअली में वो टेक्निकल पैरामीटर पर कैसे काम किया जाए या वो जो टेक्निकल चीज़ है वो समझ में नहीं आता सर कि उसमें कैसे स्टार्टअप किया जाए, उसका रोड मैप कैसे मिले.
Okay. You see, sometimes I like to give, बैठ जाओ, contradictory things. Zomato and Swiggy, in my own humble opinion, are not purely non-technical. They have provided me an app which is also having certain input with a money handling ecosystem, which is also having an input of highlighting those things based on my choice. So basically I get motivated. They are also getting certain input from maybe multiple ways of marketing, so that I am feeling more enabled to pick a right menu for what I want to order. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि जोमेटो स्विगी ये लोग नॉन टेक्निकल हैं. ठीक है, there is some technology in it. When I say technology led, the thing is extreme technology. Take space technology, something which can really develop something in maybe satellite zone, something which can really give input in rockets, something which can develop autonomous robots, something which can go for autonomous navigation. ठीक, सोचोगे नहीं तो भाई वहाँ तक पहुँचोगे नहीं, तो नीचे रह जाओगे. सो आइडिया ये वो सोचना है. Coming to ideation stage, where you said that it sometimes become difficult कि शुरुआत कहाँ से करें, यही क्वेश्चन है ना. You see, there is a particular approach which is named as design thinking. अगर आप नोट कर सकें और गूगल पे सर्च करें तो it will really help. That particular design thinking gives you 5 steps, and those 5 steps are very important. Please go through those 5 steps, but let me give you my understanding of how to reach to those particular steps. People many times use word innovation. In my own understanding, there are 3 ways how people can really innovate. आप ध्यान से सुनिए. One way is think inside the box. Think inside the box. For example, if I am in this room and I say to you, boss, ideate on a potential technology solution, what you will do? You will see whatever is in this particular room. You have your own experience from your life. So basically, you are constrained by an environment. Alright? To do innovation, there are few important things which you need to consider. And for that, first point is do a SWOT analysis. SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Your experiences, your knowledge base, the field of expertise which you have as a student or maybe as a faculty, that is basically your strength. Agreed? Your experiences which you had with society can also add something to that particular strength. Alright? When you work in the first mode of innovation, which is think inside the box, usually you are unable to find weaknesses. You identify all those strengths. And then, since the problem has already been given to you कि boss कुछ नया निकालने का, so the opportunity is already in front of you. Alright? You are also sometimes unable to identify what are the threats because you have limited information, because you are thinking inside the box. Issue is majority of us work in that direction, including me. Please remember, first solution may not be right solution. For those people who do not have too much of experience, too much of exposure, if they pick first solution, it may not be the right solution. भाई तुक्का लग गया, बात अलग है. Got it? This implies having more and more information is needed. How to do it? बॉस, जियोपॉलिटिकल क्या चल रहा है वो तुम्हें बताएगा बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी कहाँ है. जब साल में बजट प्रस्तुत करती है सरकार, तो वो बताएगा कि आगे इकोनॉमिक अपॉर्चुनिटी किस जगह पे आ रही है. ठीक. If you have a background of technology, please devote maybe 15-20 minutes of your day's time to scroll maybe on your mobile phone, maybe on your computer screen. नया क्या चल रहा है उस पर्टिकुलर जोन में. That will help you in identifying बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. ठीक. This will give you some exposure. Maybe if you are not able to pinpoint, no problem. But for that particular pinpoint, your technical expertise will come into picture. जो पढ़ा है, जो सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ा है. देखो, एक पर्टिकुलर मैकेनिज्म को सुधारने के लिए कौन सी वाला रूल लगता है, क्या फिजिक्स है उसकी. अगर दोबारा पढ़ना पड़े, उसमें टाइम लगे, तो प्लीज़ लगा लो. Coming to second mode of innovation, which is think outside the box. Think outside the box. ठीक है जी. अभी आपने ऑब्जर्व किया होगा, मैंने साहब को एक एग्जांपल दिया विद रिस्पेक्ट टू क्वालिटी कंट्रोल, वेयर आई सेड ओके देयर आर सम टेस्ट विच योर कंपनी इज डूइंग इट. कैन यू डू इट इन अ completely different way which may be much faster and much efficient? If yes, what will be the requirements? So maybe the quality assurance team which is available with them can do a far better job. तो हमने क्या किया, सिनेरियो बदल दिया, पर्सपेक्टिव इज चेंज्ड. बहुत सिंपल शब्द में कहूँ तो मैं एक छाते से बरसात से बच सकता हूँ, धूप से बच सकता हूँ. मैं उस छाते को हथियार बना सकता हूँ ना. बट टू डू दैट द पर्सपेक्टिव हैज टू बी चेंज्ड. ऑलराइट. व्हेन आई से गैदर मोर इंफॉर्मेशन, you will be able to reach to that particular perspective. My understanding about design thinking is when I tell to people that you ideate, I tell them, okay, first and foremost requirement is please develop empathy. Empathy is basically understanding the real scenario. Well, you come in ideate mode, fine, you note down an idea. But before that, writing an idea, please build castles in air. हवा में बनते हैं महल, सोच में तो बन ही सकते हैं. सोचें तो. So when you ideate, please try to ideate when you have to make castles in air. कितना भी अजीब आइडिया हो, doesn't matter, note it down. Write 5 ideas. Increase that number to 10. Increase that number to 50. Increase that number to 100. ठीक है, सोचो ना यार. What you are doing, you are exploring, searching for more. Then, most important thing for doing this effort in innovation is you should have a team. And teams have to be diverse. Diverse implies they should be diverse in terms of gender, they should be diverse in terms of region, they should be diverse in terms of technical expertise, which is very important. That particular team has to now think on all of those 50, 100 ideas and identify a priority. ये 100 में से वो 10 बेस्ट कौन से हैं, करो उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन. उन 10 में से बेस्ट 3 कौन से हैं, देन पिक वन. फाइन. इट इज पॉसिबल दैट दिस पिक्ड वन इज योर ओरिजिनल आइडिया, बट बॉस नाउ वी हैव फॉलोड अ प्रोसीजर. वो तुक्का नहीं था. गॉट इट. फर्स्ट सॉल्यूशन मे नॉट बी द राइट सॉल्यूशन. Once you have done it, now you have to identify again your strength. If you have reached to ideation level where you know that okay, this is something to be done, you now need to develop a methodology how to do it. So you need an ecosystem to support that. Technical support है available, नहीं है, कहाँ से मिलेगा? मनी चाहिए, है, अच्छी बात, नहीं, कहाँ से मिलेगा? ठीक. Once you develop it, if we need to validate this particular thing, कहाँ पे होता है? कौन सी लैब उस वाले काम को करेगी. If there are some compliances which needs to be there, you have to do with those compliances right at the design stage. So if you have made a good design from the ideation stage, you will be taking care of the compliance part. साहब आपको मुझसे सुनने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी कि स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन और स्पेशलाइजेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं, क्योंकि आपके थॉट प्रोसेस में ही वो आ गया. Now, one of the most important thing which is not talked in design thinking is, or maybe even if it is a part, sometimes people do not go to that level, is whatever that you make, somebody has to buy it. बचपन में हम लोग छोटे थे तो एक सफ़ेद कागज़ के ऊपर ऐसे बनाते थे, मेरी उंगलियों का फ्लो देखना. थोड़ा दोबारा से, जॉब डन. क्या बनाया? पहाड़, पेड़, एक नाव, सीनरी बनाते थे ना. कोई खरीदता नहीं था, मम्मी पापा खुश हो जाते थे, दोस्तों के सामने इतरा लिया करते थे. वैसे इनोवेशन नहीं करना है यार. इनोवेशन इसलिए करना है क्योंकि somebody has to buy it. What is that particular typical edge which your technology has, so people will buy it. अगर उसको डिज़ाइन की स्टेज पे ही, आइडिएशन की स्टेज पे ध्यान में रखोगे, बिकेगा, कोई नहीं रोक सकता. ठीक है. अगर वो बिकने वाली चीज़ नहीं रखी तो बहुत गड़बड़ है. सो यू नीड टू कीप दैट इन योर माइंड कि बस एक आइडिया पिक कर लिया ना, आइडेंटिफाई भी कर लिया कैसे बनेगा, मैथड फाइंड, ये बिकेगा क्यों, कौन खरीदेगा इसको, मेरा वो यूज़र ग्रुप कौन है, विच इज़ माई फोकस कस्टमर, उसके पास आज की तारीख में क्या मार्केट में अवेलेबल है, विच माई प्रोडक्ट इज गोइंग टू डिलीवर इन अ बेटर वे which the existing products are giving, or I develop a disruptive technology which is going to make a complete change. महिंद्रा ने XCV9 जब लॉन्च की तो शायद पहले कुछ 1-2 दिनों में 30,000 गाड़ियाँ बुक हुई. 30,000. एक XCV9 करीब 25 से 30 लाख की आती है, मोटा मोटा 30 लाख मान लेते हैं. सर 30 लाख मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 30,000 कितना होता है, कितना होता है सर? मोबाइल में कैलकुलेटर है, उसी से बता दो. कितना होता है सर? 30,000 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 30 लाख. मुझे तो फिगर पता है. कितना हुआ? कुछ 1000 करोड़ में आ रहा है क्या सर? ये उस जमाने में हुआ था जब इंडिया का ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ हो नहीं रहा था, बहुत कुछ स्टेबल ऐसा था, बिल्कुल फ्लैट. एक कंपनी है, उसने कहा ले. उसी समय एक दूसरी कंपनी कुछ महीने बाद आती है, हैरियर ईवी. आप देखो उसकी क्या रिकॉर्ड बुकिंग हुई है. तो क्या हो रहा है सर? मार्केट में किस चीज़ की ज़रूरत थी? जब महिंद्रा ने कहा तो बोला ऐसा प्रोडक्ट लेके आती हूँ जो गजब का दिखता है, किसी ने देखा नहीं ऐसा प्रोडक्ट आज तक. और क्या खास है सर? लाइफ टाइम वारंटी है बैटरी की. और क्या खासियत है? 650 किलोमीटर रेंज है. यार एक्चुअल में 500 दे दे, मैं तो उसी में खुश हो जाऊंगा. और कोई प्रोडक्ट है उस तरह का मार्केट में नहीं है. जगह कैसी है सर? ठीक ठाक जगह है, बढ़िया. बूट स्पेस कितना है? 600 लीटर के ऊपर है. सस्पेंशन कैसा है? बोले सर आज तक आपने देखा नहीं होगा कभी. 1 करोड़ वाली गाड़ी में जो मिलता है मैं 30 लाख में दे रहा हूँ. तो लोग खरीदेंगे ना. मार्केट हेयर ने क्या किया भाई, जो बना दिया है ना वो बहुत गजब है, अब कैसे इससे आगे चलूँ, क्या मैं रेंज बढ़ा दूँ, क्या मैं पावर बढ़ा दूँ. अच्छा उनकी गाड़ी ना रियर व्हील ड्राइव है, मैं चारों पहिए घुमा देता हूँ और उसको एक ऐसे पहाड़ पे चढ़ा देता हूँ जिसके ऊपर आदमी चढ़ने की नहीं सोच सकता. मार्केट. तो बस व्हाट इज एज ऑन योर प्रोडक्ट, इफ यू नो दैट यू विल बी एबल टू डेवलप गुड सॉल्यूशन. हाथों हाथ बिकना चाहिए. नाउ each product cannot be a market leader. ठीक बात है ना? Each product cannot be a market leader. So if you let's say waste a lot of time in identifying, I have to be market leader, I have to be technological superior. Sorry boss, if you do not have that edge, don't go in that zone. Then identify the right customer. मार्केट में 12 लाख की भी तो ईवी है. उस कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए? क्या मेरी टेक्नोलॉजी उसको फुलफिल करती है? हाँ, तो वो भी चलेगा। तमाम कंपनियां चल रही हैं। सो इन योर डोमेन यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी। वाज आई एबल टू आंसर द क्वेरी? चलो भाई, धन्यवाद।
वेरी वास्ट वे।
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद। एनी अदर क्वेरी सर? Done? So thank you for patiently listening, and I hope you have something to take home. Please remember some of the pointers. They have come up from a lot of experiences, in fact many failures, and sometimes it's better to learn from others' mistakes. So maybe if you can do something new in your industry, in your academic network, as a student while you are learning something more, it is going to be a great and satisfying thing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this captivating session. And you had said about the skill development and workforce station, the real world models and actionable insights. Thank you so much. And I would like to invite VC sir and the coordinator of this faculty development program to come forward and kindly present a token of appreciation to our guest.
सर अब आप यहाँ आइए। इसको बंद कर देंगे? नहीं, इसको भी बंद कर दें, मेरे ख्याल है इसकी